So, as you can see, I'm about to do my second YouTube video of the evening or afternoon, wherever you are. How do I start this one off? Okay, let's get right to it. Basically, it came out earlier this year that British taxpayers were still paying debt towards the abolishment of slavery up until 2015. Now, if you know anything about slavery that happened in the Caribbean, it was basically British ruling, and it ended in 1807. However, slavery, because the slave masters were not happy about this, it means taxpayers had to give them money as basically, okay, so you've lost is basically like, say your house gets flooded and the insurance companies will say, well, you can't get back this, but you can have something else that's worth the same value. So basically what happened was the slave masters, they lost their slaves. Well, some of them, because quite a lot of them, what they did was they brought their slaves from the Caribbean to here in the UK, where slavery was never legal here in the UK, and they called them servants, because if you call someone an indentured servant, it's not the same thing, so you can get away with it. Oh yeah, they're just a servant, but you treated them just as bad as in the Caribbean. Now, because they did that, once slavery was abolished in the Caribbean and as a whole in the UK, because even though it was illegal, it was still going on. There were slaves here in Britain, and there is evidence of this. So taxpayers were paying money to the slave masters for losing their property, for losing the slaves, the Africans who were enslaved. And it came out earlier this year that we, as taxpayers here in the UK, we were still paying that debt off to them until 2015, which was just 3 years ago. And if you think about it, slavery ended in 1807, and yet we were still paying this up until 2015. And yet they got the cheek to say slavery was so long ago. They actually have the cheek to say this. I mean, how do you even express yourself properly as a black person to know that you was basically paying white people for the fact that they lost their property, our ancestors? We were basically paying them money for the loss of our ancestors. It's like a slap in the face. It's like you can never escape the brutality of it. And they kept it hidden for so long. They kept it hidden for such a long period of time. And when you bring it up, they say slavery was so long ago, but I'm like, we was paying debt up until 2015. 3 years ago is a short period of time. It's not long. It's a short period of time. And it just bothers me about living here in the UK. You feel like you cannot even speak about racism because they're always saying about, oh, you're just making it up. Look at what's been happening lately. Racism is on the rise. It's not going anywhere. It's like it's rising back up again. Ever since this whole Brexit issue, it's been rising again and again and again, and we cannot seem to escape it. And the simple fact we as taxpayers had to pay money to the families of slave owners because they lost their slaves is absolutely abhorrent to me. And there was absolutely nothing we can do about it, because we can't get back the money that we've owed. It's funny that we can pay, it's funny that we as taxpayers have to pay money to them, but when we ask for a simple thing like reparations, we told no, slavery was in the past, there's no point in you getting reparations. But it's okay for it's okay for the ancestors of the people who oppressed our people to get money from us. But yet we are not allowed to receive reparations. Like I mentioned in my previous video, when the Prime Minister of Jamaica asked Britain for reparations for slavery, David Cameron said no. He said a straight no. And it's actually, and of course he would say no, because the money within David Cameron's family actually comes from slavery. And this came out a few years ago. His money comes from slavery. He's never going to give that up. Of course he would say no. That would mean him giving up the money that he's got. So, you see, and that was the man who was running our country. This man whose family benefited from the brutality of black people and black African people. You benefited off that, but yet we can't get a simple thing as reparations, because no, you can't get reparations because it's in the past. It no longer matters. Yes, black people were brutalized, but you know what? You're just gonna get a crummy sorry. But that's the thing. You're not even getting a sorry. The only one who's apologized so far for slavery is Prince Charles, and he did that in Accra, Ghana, and I mentioned that in my previous video. However, that sorry is not enough. How do I not even know that apology is genuine and it actually comes from his heart? Like, how do we actually know this? It just seems a load of nonsense. And quite frankly, I'm just so sick and tired of we always being told, no, you can't get this, you can't get that. Every single thing that black people have to fight about, we have to fight against discrimination, we have to fight against stereotypes, we have to fight against prejudice. I mean, even would you look at it, yesterday was November 11th, which is Remembrance Day, marked 100 years since the end of World War One, but yet the West Indian soldiers and the African soldiers who took part in World War One, they don't want to acknowledge them. They don't want to acknowledge them whatsoever. But yet we're supposed to sit up there and be like, oh yeah, we're gonna remember everyone. But no, you don't want to remember everyone, but we're expected to remember everyone, because that's the good thing to do, because black people have been conditioned to stay in their place and not speak our minds. But I will never be one of those people who will never not speak my minds, and I frankly don't give a rat's ass who disagrees with me, because there's been a lot of racists, as per usual, commenting on my videos, chatting all this, and I just block you. I don't have the energy to argue with you. I'm going to give my point. If you don't like it, you can F off. Yeah? Okay, so, you know, you're going to be saying all this kind of stuff and honestly don't give a shit. But yes, if you didn't know, there's a black poppy that you can purchase to remember the black soldiers who died in World War One and World War Two. Yes, you can purchase that. So as I was saying, you can purchase a black poppy to remember the African and Caribbean soldiers who died during World War One and World War Two. However, back to the main point I was making in the video, it's funny how we as black people are expected to be placated by small little offerings that we are given by white dominated society, you know. We're given such small little things and we're expected to be grateful for that, whereas they have all these massive opportunities given to them and they can be comfortable with that, but we expect to be comfortable with like basically small little crumbs that come off. They have full slices of bread and we just get the little crumbs that are left on the plate, is the best way I can describe it. And the fact that this country, Britain, they still are in so much denial about racism and their role in slavery. It it's just mind-boggling to me to expect another human being to think they deserve less than you because you are in control of everybody. But it just makes me think, like, how long do you think you're going to be in control? Because you can see more and more people are breaking free of mental slavery and this idea that white people are above us. We're starting to break free of this notion. And my parents have always taught me to be, very forthright and, go for what you want. But at the same time, they acknowledge that we do as black people have barriers that are put in place to keep us down. But it doesn't mean you can't succeed. It's just going to take you a little bit longer, basically because of the colour of your skin. And I love the fact that they was very open and honest about it. You're going to have to work harder. As a black woman, you're going to have to work harder. And a lot of people don't want to acknowledge that, but it's true. We're going to have to work harder just to get 1/10 of what they have. I mean, there's been plenty of evidence where black people are more qualified than white people, but yet the white person gets the job that they both go for, even despite the white person having less qualifications. It's more to do with what will look better for the business rather than what looks better on paper. And I've read so many stories of black people saying this, it's highly disturbing. And then to put that into another context of, we then get these jobs, these successful jobs, and then our tax money is going into paying the slave debt off. It's like they know what they're doing. They know the trickery. They're saying, yes, we're going to give you this good job, and then your taxes are going to go towards these slave masters. So it's like another form of a plantation. Yeah, we're still working for them. Yes, we may be getting money, but the money's going back to them. So don't ever be fooled by thinking that just because they give us these little things, that means that is enough. It's never enough. And I've also read about so many black people are saying, you know what, I've had enough of the UK, I'm going to try in majority black country. And even though they may have their issues, I'm still going to go there instead and see if that is better for me. I always say, do what's best for you. Because if you can't handle living in a racist country, if you want to move, you should move. No one can come tell you some rash foolishness like this guy in one of my videos last week. Come trying, oh, if you don't like it, come out the country. Listen, yeah, if I had the money, I would be gone long time. But I do plan to leave eventually. So you're going to come try and tell me I need to leave. No, I want to leave on my own accord. Not because some white person comes and tells me on my YouTube video. I want to leave myself. Yeah, you know what you can do? You can pay for my Russell airplane ticket. That's what you can do. Anyway, second video is over and done with. Don't forget to like, subscribe and leave a comment. And I'll be right back in 2 seconds. Bye.